That was so far.
But move. That's over 100 yards, dude.
So far.
Right over here.
30 yards to the left.
30, 40 yards, Matt.
40 yards.
Just to the left of that.
Okay.
Perfect. I don't know my own strength. Oh my God.
It's the tailwind. Sorry, it's the tailwind.
Sav is on the ground. Hey everyone, Sean Savin Moo, and I bet you many of you right now are feeling very defective with your golf swings. You're thinking, why am I all arms? How come my weight shift won't engage on time and it feels like my whole downswing is discombobulated? Well, this video is for you, and you're going to see just how not defective you are and how a simple task will engage your kinetic chain wonderfully and get you humming in no time. Stay with us. Now, of course, before we continue, we would love for you to be a part of Wisdom in Golf, so please subscribe.
Leave a question or comment down below and give us a thumbs up.
And hit that bell so you never miss any videos.
Because your machine is a self-preserving machine, all we're going to do right out of the gate, so many of you don't have a throwing arm, we're just going to toss a ball. So imagine we're tossing a ball in a softball style motion, right? Same as bowling. So if I want to toss this ball in that direction from a side position, notice I wouldn't do it like this. That's not going to go anywhere. So I'm going to take this ball and I'm going to toss it this way, and right away your brain, out of self-preservation so you don't hit yourself, your brain is going to go to the ground. It's going to use the ground to get your body out of the way. Notice how that turns? So that your arm has access to the target. Just by doing that, you will engage that kinetic chain beautifully. So if we bring that up the line, let's say I was skipping stones on water. So there's my pond and I'm getting ready to skip the stone. You'll notice the first thing the brain's got to do is go get the ground. So it's skip the stone. And right away, you're going to feel that engagement. You'll never throw with the arm first. It'll collide into your rib cage and, injure you. So how do we do that with a golf club? So you really need to do this and find a very safe spot. We're going to take some older clubs right here, and I'm going to show you how to properly throw the club. And then Sav and Moo are going to do the same thing. We'll see if Moo's club throwing abilities have improved since the last time. So if I take this club and I throw it that way, notice the first thing my brain's got to do is go get the ground. Now if I take it underhand, so I'm going to toss it underhand, look at this. So the brain's got to do the same thing, engage the ground. Then I put both hands on the club, and I'm just getting ready to throw the club in that direction. So I need to have a very specific direction. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a little intermediate point. I put a ball down, or you're going to take an alignment rod and you're going to set down an alignment rod on the ground. As a righty, you're going to stay to the right side of that alignment rod. So that way the club stays right there in front of you. Now, if we do the same thing with a golf club, if you were to throw the club in that direction and not let it go, what's going to happen? Well, throw the club that way, and you notice how the brain engages, gets out of the way, the club wants to come out of your hands over here. That would be the fastest point of the swing, but then you don't let go. So what happens is the club is going to snap your trail hand over the lead hand, and it's going to come back and wrap itself around you. So all I need to do now is have the ball be in the way of that. So I get my setup. and I'm going to hover my club above the ball here, and I'm going to get ready and throw the club in that direction. I predict that with the club hovering that way, I'm going to miss the ball. So here we go. Throw. Yes, I threw to the right of my intermediate point, and yes, I missed the ball by about that much. So you get lower. Now it feels like I'm going to top the ball if I throw it that way. So I'm throwing that way, throw it that way. Perfectly top. Look at that big dent in the ground right here. That's exactly what happens when you top the golf ball. So then if I want solid contact, all I got to do is go down that much more. So if I throw, I miss, I throw, I top. Hey, now it feels like the sole of the club is going to cut grass along the ground. What's it feel like when I throw in that direction? Oh yeah, it feels about like that. And off the ball goes into the wild blue yonder. Beautiful golf shot. You'll see it on Rapsodo in a few minutes, all right? So when we're throwing something, we're engaging the weight shift and the clearing of the body. And this is where so many of you get a little crazy, because you're thinking, man, when is it that I shift the weight? And how much do I clear the hips by? Because you hear a lot of instructors say, well, turn those hips through the shot. Well, how much do you do that by? The only way your system knows is if you have a target. So we give it an intermediate point right here, and we say, okay, we're just going to throw to the right edge of that. And we're throwing down the range to the right of that intermediate point. So now the brain says, yep, there it is. I need to get the ground, use the ground to get out of the way, and I'm getting out of the way just perfectly to go there. If I get out of the way too much, now I just yank myself out in front of the ball. Now I got to hurry up and hit the ball before I miss it. And all of a sudden we get this big can of worms, and you feel like you got this defective right hand, defective right shoulder, all that stuff. It's a good thing you're not defective. All you need is that really key, proper task. So let's get Sav in here and see what she's got. All right, Sav, here's a little lefty club for you.
Do you want me to go just...
Do you want to do one overhead first?
Sure.
All right. So, nice throw. How did you know when to let go?
Because I had a target.
Right. And because you had a target, your brain knew exactly when to let go here on what arc to get there, right? Mm-hmm. So now let's see you do it. You could do it with your backhand. So for those of you who are dominant lead hand, you're going to throw it like a Frisbee, okay?
Yeah.
Nice. Now let's see you throw it with both hands. Good throw. So if you were to engage that a little bit more, because you have a tendency to be a little lackadaisical about stuff sometimes. So let's see you get into a more of a throwing position, more athletic throwing position. So many of you are getting set up right up here, and yeah, you can throw it out there, but you can't throw it out there like an athlete. So we're going to get our glutes and quads engaged.
Yep.
So let's see, engage that posture.
Mr. Siegel, can you please move? I'm going to
look
take
how
your head out.
You're going to get one through the head.
I don't want
Go
to
ahead,
do
go
it.
ahead. So, get your posture. There. Now you mean business. Yeah, now did you feel how you used the ground to do that?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So you see that last club that we have there?
Yeah.
So let's see you throw it over that club. Nice. So take a look at that engagement of the legs. And for so many of you, when you're throwing the club at first, make sure there's nothing behind you and nothing behind you that way, because if you're used to throwing it at the ball, then what happens is the club is going to pass your hands down here and then you let go, and that sucker's going to be behind you.
Yeah.
So it's very important that you throw the club in a way that, okay, I'm staying in that direction. You give it a couple of rehearsals, and then you take it out there, right? All right, Sav, so let's see what that looks like in a golf shot. So do one above the ball. Give it a nice throw. Throw it farther. Give it a nice throw. Yeah, all right. So lower it to the grass. I'll spare you the top shot.
Yeah, thank you.
Now, did you feel a little bit of strain on that one?
Yeah.
So when you throw it out there, I want you to feel like you're throwing out there with a 2 out of 10 for effort.
Yeah.
So that means you need to gather that throw a lot more. So really turn your backside to the target. There it is. Right?
Yeah.
So I'm so glad you did that. That is really important, because if you're throwing carefully and you don't finish the backswing, you're not going to be able to engage that kinetic chain properly. So one thing that people just don't realize and understand is that the weight shift actually happens from behind you, not from in front of you. So you'll notice as we get to the top of that backswing, you'll see Savannah's turn, and then because she's turning on the inside of that back foot and turning fully, she has immediate access to that front leg, okay? And this is something that really helped Moo, go from hitting it the same distance as me last year, which I was almost okay with, to blowing by me by 3 full clubs, which I still need a psychologist for. Just kidding. I'm so happy for Moo. All right. So really finish that backswing. Gather it. Oh man, that's a throw, Sav. Wait. All right, so come on over here.
All right.
Stay to the right of that alignment rod, and let's see you throw it just to the left of the Academy building.
Okay.
Better.
Okay.
Better. You don't have to throw it so far that I have to walk
I'll get
far to get them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
I
gotcha.
appreciate that.
Okay.
Too strong.
Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect. Both hands now.
Okay.
Well done.
Oh.
That was so far.
But move. That's over 100 yards, dude.
So far.
Right over here.
30 yards to the left.
30, 40 yards, Matt.
40 yards.
Just to the left of that.
Okay.
Perfect. I don't know my own strength. Oh my God.
It's a tailwind. Sorry, it's a tailwind.
Sav is on the ground. And this is so typical. That was hilarious. But this is so typical when we ask our students, and you remember that video we did on gently drive your ball 300 yards.
Yeah.
And still to this day, we get so many hits on that. We have over 600,000 hits on that video, and people are just not believing it.
Yeah.
And it's like when you engage that kinetic chain, it is truly unstoppable.
That's it. Yeah.
That's Moo's kinetic chain. This guy's a Ferrari, right? You went ahead and threw it in that direction.
Yeah.
And when that kinetic chain engaged, it was no stopping. It was gone.
Yeah.
And you see that with quarterbacks when they're going for a pass and they get the ball knocked out of their hands, that arm keeps going.
That's it. Yeah.
So it's the same thing here. So let's say we take a 6-iron.
Okay.
So we're going to go left edge of that, left edge of the Academy building back to the building.
Correct.
Perfect. So do one above the ball.
Okay.
Pretend you're throwing the club in that direction, but don't let go.
All right.
You see, that was careful.
Yeah, I was just.
You can turn it on now.
Okay, all
Right?
right.
So you remember when you threw the club,
Yeah.
the intensity you had.
Yeah, that's it.
That's what I want you. This is so key, right? This
Yeah.
is really good because I see this all the time.
I froze once I saw the ball.
So you got the ball there. That's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
You're going to throw the club now with the same intensity you just threw that last club with.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
So feel like you're going to throw that club a couple of 100 yards down the range there easily. Good. So that was a 2 out of 10 for effort.
Yeah, that was.
Beautiful. So lower the club to the grass.
Okay.
Make your prediction. If you make the same throw,
Yeah.
is the dandelion stem in your way?
Yeah.
Good. Same throw. Oh,
Nice.
see ya. That was gorgeous. Still in the air. Landing about now. Gorgeous shot. And then look at the perfect divot, right?
Yeah.
Get this beautiful little bacon strip divot in that direction. That's exactly what you're looking for. So, A, do some throwing of golf balls. Start with throwing balls. Then feel like you're throwing some golf balls from underneath. If you don't have a throwing arm, don't worry. Toss some balls and then toss some balls from a golfing position and you'll really feel how that body has to get out of the way.
Right.
But I need you to throw some clubs. You need a safe place. You need some old, steel shafted, worn out grip clubs that won't stick to your hands as they're coming out. Don't do graphite because they splinter and they break very easily. And make sure you got a safe place to do that, okay? We don't want anything to happen to you. So you get the feel of throwing the club out there. Film yourself. When you feel that you're actually throwing the club in the right direction, film yourself and watch how brilliant you look on video and how deep your lag is as you're throwing it out there. And you'll be calling us up at Wisdom in Golf and saying, hey, that really worked. We really appreciate you. Have a great week.